It's an amazing tool. I love it. But everyone has some kind of document camera or an iPad now that they can use to take these pictures. So I can do it in class as my students are finishing. They just drop it in a bin, and the bin is positioned below the camera. It automatically grades it, and then all I have to do at the end, once everyone is done, and I'm just monitoring the class, once I realize everyone's done, I can just go click like save or submit, import it into Skyward, and within a minute it's already in there and ready for them to see. And if I don't have other classes taking the same assessment, then I can hand it right back to them, get them online remediation just instantly. So it lets everything go a lot faster and gives us the flexibility we need to do whatever our class needs, and to be monitoring, especially during tests and quizzes, instead of just sitting there grading and spending our time less productively. So I only have those vague nightmares of what I used to have to do and how much time it used to take me to get it all in. But I know I'm not spending nearly as much time grading these assessments. I'm spending more time getting them feedback and explaining why they got it wrong than figuring out which ones they got right and wrong. Well, I'm really big on getting kids feedback very quickly, because the longer they go without having feedback, the more they just forget. Even if they get the grade instantly, if they don't get the test and the questions back in their hands quickly, then they don't care about it as much. But what I found is if I get them the test or the quiz or whatever back instantly that day, they want to know which ones they got wrong, and they remember what their second choice was, and so they can figure that out and do corrections and learn from their mistakes a lot better than if it waited a day or two. And with this block system, sometimes before, when I was grading everything by hand or doing scantrons and getting it back to them in the next block, that might be after a weekend, and they didn't remember and they didn't care as much about it later. So that quick instant feedback in class was really important to me, to know their grade and also to be able to get them started on correcting their mistakes, going through the remediation aspect or physically reworking problems. It all seems very intuitive and it flows, and even just the fact that lessons is before reports in that top bar, that's the process that you go through, and then PLC and sharing things, that's after you've taken an assessment and looked at your reports. So it seems very straightforward to me. It's nice that I choose what I have time for myself. I choose what they have time for in class, and sometimes it all goes according to plan, and sometimes things change, but it's flexible when I need it to be, and I can always depend on it. It started a lot of conversations, because previously we'd come together at the end of the day after a test and be like, oh, how are your averages? We're like, yeah, they're like 50s, 60s, they're like 58, or there's one class that was really low. But with this platform, we're scanning it in. We don't have to do any extra work to share the information. And so they're starting to see, even if it is around 50s and 60s, they can see if they're regularly not achieving, their students aren't achieving as high as ours. Like, what did you do differently? I'm like, why am mine 5 points lower? And we look at how we did things and try and figure that out. And what questions are they missing? It's real simple to look at that now, and they can do it on their own and then come be like, how did you get them to get this enthalpy thing down? Like, that's weird, how did they get it? And like when we come together in our weekly meetings, we can say, hey, I saw your grades weren't in yet. Like, have you scanned them all, or have you completed all of those? He's like, oh, I have some out still. And so we kind of get a better idea where we're at without having to make a big thing out of it. It makes it easier and simpler to communicate what we've been doing for these assessments. It's gotten me the numbers quicker, and it has let me look at more detailed numbers, because every single number, every single test, assessment grade is in the system. And so I can look at all of the different pieces of my grades and my students in different classes. And I have then seen, kind of as we were working more as a group and able to look more at our data and look at specific tests and test questions and get the information from All in Learning, I do feel like we've done a better job of teaching and presenting the information, especially now that we're able to look back at the assessments from last year that we did in All in Learning and look at the questions that they missed a lot, and then go back and read them and decide if we need to make a change to it this year, or just change the answer options or the way it's worded. And so I do feel like that has absolutely helped us better teach and better assess our students, and seeing a little better mastery this year compared to last year's students.